stop everything for a moment, because something unexpected just shook the NASCAR world. A tense race weekend at Circuit of the Americas, a critical pit stop mistake, a strict NASCAR penalty, and now Bubba Wallace and the entire 23XI racing team are at the center of one of the most talked about moments of the season. Fans everywhere are asking the same question: how did a single pit stop turn into such a major story? To understand what really happened, we need to rewind to the beginning of the race weekend at Circuit of the Americas, widely known as COTA. This track in Texas is unlike most others on the NASCAR schedule. It's a demanding road course filled with sharp turns, elevation changes, and long straightaways that challenge even the most experienced drivers. From the moment the race began, the atmosphere around QA was electric. Fans packed the stands, engines roared across the massive circuit, and drivers prepared for one of the most technical races of the season. Road course racing requires patience, precision, and perfect timing. For Bubba Wallace and the 23XI racing team, this race carried huge importance. Every race in the NASCAR season can affect championship standings, team momentum, and driver confidence. The team arrived at COTA determined to show their strength and fight for a strong finish. As the green flag waved, the field of cars rushed into the famous first corner at COTA, a tight uphill turn that always creates dramatic moments. Drivers carefully navigated the early laps, trying to avoid mistakes while also gaining positions. Lap after lap, the race began to settle into its rhythm. But COTA never makes things easy. Drivers had to manage tire wear, braking zones, and constant changes in grip throughout the track. Bubba Wallace was working hard to stay competitive in the field. Each lap required full concentration as he guided the car through the technical corners of the circuit. Meanwhile, teams on pit road were carefully planning their strategy. At road courses, pit timing can completely change the outcome of a race. Eventually, the moment came for Bubba Wallace to head down pit road. In NASCAR, pit stops are one of the most intense parts of the race. Everything happens incredibly fast. Crew members jump over the wall, remove the tires, install new ones, fill the car with fuel, and send the driver back onto the track in just seconds. The entire process is practiced repeatedly by the crew, and even the smallest delay can cost valuable track position. At first, Bubba Wallace's pit stop looked routine. The crew performed their tasks quickly and signaled for the car to leave the pit box. Bubba accelerated out of pit road and rejoined the race. But just moments later, something didn't look right. Officials began noticing a possible issue with one of the wheels. In NASCAR, wheel security is taken extremely seriously. If a wheel is not fully tightened during a pit stop, it can lead to serious problems on track. NASCAR immediately began reviewing the situation. Cameras and officials monitored the car as the race continued. After reviewing the evidence, NASCAR confirmed the problem. A loose wheel situation had occurred during the pit stop, and according to NASCAR's rulebook, the penalty for this situation is clear. When a loose wheel is confirmed after a car leaves pit road, the responsibility falls on the pit crew members who installed the tire. This rule exists to make sure teams take every precaution to secure the wheels properly. Soon after the review, NASCAR made its official decision. The crew members responsible for the tire change would receive a 2-race suspension. The announcement quickly spread through the NASCAR community, and fans immediately began sharing their reactions online. Some supporters believed the penalty was simply part of the sport's safety rules. Others felt that the intense speed of pit stops can make mistakes unavoidable. But regardless of the debate, the penalty meant that 23XI Racing now faced a difficult challenge moving forward. Inside the garage area, the team shifted its focus toward adapting to the situation. NASCAR teams operate like carefully organized machines, and every crew member plays an important role. With 2 pit crew members now suspended, the team must bring in replacements for the upcoming races. Adjustments like this can affect performance, timing, and communication during pit stops. For Bubba Wallace, maintaining focus is crucial. Drivers depend heavily on their crews, especially during intense race moments where pit strategy can make or break the result. Meanwhile, the action on the track continued. Rael Foi. Drivers pushed their cars to the limit as they battled through the challenging COTA circuit. One of those drivers was Ross Chastain, known throughout NASCAR for his determination and aggressive racing style. Chastain has faced many ups and downs during his career, but he has built a reputation for staying focused and continuing to fight for strong results. Rael driver Rintr for OTD. During post-race interviews, analysts and drivers discussed the pit stop incident and NASCAR's decision. Experts explained that the loose wheel rule has been part of the sport for years and is designed to protect everyone involved in racing. Safety remains one of NASCAR's most important priorities, and enforcing the rule consistently helps maintain that standard. For 23XI Racing, the next few races will now be about regrouping and rebuilding momentum. Replacement pit crew members will step into important roles, and the team must work together to maintain strong performance. But if there is one thing NASCAR fans know well, it's this: every race weekend brings new surprises. One moment can change the entire direction of a team's season. And as Bubba Wallace and the 23XI Racing team prepare for the next chapter, fans across the NASCAR world will be watching closely. Because in NASCAR, sometimes the biggest stories don't begin with a crash or a dramatic finish. Sometimes they begin with a single pit stop,